Okay, this section is absolutely critical. Looking at houses. We're out, we're in the market now, we're meeting with your realtor, you're going to see places. Going and seeing a home sounds like a pretty straightforward job. Walk through the house, decide if you like it. Wrong. That's not how you do it. There are some very important steps that you need to take when you're looking at the house to make sure that it's a quality investment. Time is not something that you're gonna have a lot of in this market. Typically, homes are going up for sale and they're sold in 7 days. So that means you need to get out and you need to see them early, because chances are you're gonna wanna come back a second time. So make sure, don't just see houses on a Saturday, right? Because typically when a house gets listed, it goes up for sale on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then offers are on Monday or Tuesday the following week. Gives you 1 weekend. If you're someone who says, you know what, I like my evenings, I wanna be at home, we're just gonna see houses on Saturdays and Sundays, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because if you go in on a Sunday afternoon and you see a house that you really like, oh, this is awesome, I wanna bring my dad by, I want him to see it, I wanna have my contractor friend come and take a look at it. Oh, well, offers are tomorrow. Oh, well, I work tomorrow. Not gonna have a lot of time to do that. So get out, see them early, give up those evenings. It's worth it. This is where you're going to live. This is your house. This could be your home. It's worth giving up an evening on the couch for. Now, I know some people work in the evenings and that might not be the case, but give up the evenings, get out there and see those houses. Well, yes, obviously you need to like the house. You need to get to the house, you need to make sure that it looks nice, you need to feel the space out, like I said earlier, and you need to make sure that, that you like it. But there are so many other things that you need to check out. When you're inside the house, you want to do everything that you can to look behind the walls. You need to make sure that the house has good bones, right? Everyone's heard that saying, oh, this house has got great bones. That's so important. Okay, so while I want you to spend some time in the kitchen, in the living rooms, in the bathrooms, in the bedrooms, and make sure they fit and that kind of thing, you need to spend some time in other parts of the house, mainly the mechanical room. Spend a lot of time in the mechanical room. This room is like the last place that buyers want to go, and it's the first room they want to get out of once they're in there, and that's a big mistake. Okay, this is the brain of the house. There's so much to learn in this room about the home, about how it's been taken care of, about how efficient it is. This is where you need to spend a lot of time. Make sure that you look at the furnace, right? Take a look at the furnace. Is it electric or is it gas? How old is it? Pull the filter out, right? That's so critical. It's something that you can do. Pull that furnace filter out. If it's all gunked up and it hasn't been replaced in forever, that's a really good indicator as to how the home in general has been maintained. If the homeowner can't do something as simple as change the furnace filter, do you really think they're going above and beyond to make sure the rest of the house is well taken care of? Remember, you're in this house while they're trying to sell it. It looks its best. You're trying to get an idea of how has it looked on, every Tuesday for the last 10 years, right? Pulling that furnace filter out is a big indication. Take a look at the hot water tank. The hot water system is very, very important. You're gonna shower, you're gonna do dishes, you need hot water. What kind of system is it? Is it tankless? Is it on demand? Has the system been replaced recently? Has it been serviced? What fuel is it? Is it electric? Is it gas fired? How efficient is it? Right? So these are all things you need to see and you need to understand. Take a look at the electrical panel. How big is it? What kind of service is it? Is it already maxed out? Is there room for renovations? If the basement's not finished, right, you're probably going to be doing some electrical work down there. If the panel's already full and there's no room to put any more circuits, now okay, we're probably going to have to get the panel upgraded from a 100 amp to a 200 amp service. Well, that costs money. There's a couple $1,000s in work right there. That's something that you need to write down and take it into consideration when you write your offer. Other things in the mechanical room, does it have an HRV system, right? A lot of newer homes it's required by code, but older homes sometimes have them as well. Now, this is the type of system that brings in fresh air from the outside and exhausts old stale air to the outside. What is the furnace efficiency? Does it have a water softener? Is there a well? Is there a septic tank? This is all stuff that requires its own type of equipment sometimes, and it's important to know what these services are and how they operate and what kind of condition they're in. So outside the mechanical room, you're taking the house for a test drive when you're viewing it, right? Flush the toilets. Make sure they flush. Make sure things drain properly. Turn the shower on, turn the taps on. If the house has appliances included, well, that's gonna be your fridge. That's gonna be your stove. Make sure that you open them up, Does it feel cold? Does the stove look like it's been cleaned and properly cared for? These are all things you want to really make sure. The washer and the dryer, where are they located? Does that work for your family's lifestyle? Are they big enough? Are they too small? There's a lot of things to consider there. So don't just walk into the house and decide if you like the paint colors and, that sort of thing. Oh, I like the floors. That's a really nice color in here. It's really modern and new. Oh, that's great. Anything can be painted and floors can be replaced, but it's really expensive to change mechanicals and the systems that are built into the house. A beautiful updated kitchen is fantastic. It's great to have, but it's useless if the sink doesn't drain and the breaker pops every time you turn on the oven and plug in your phone into the island. Like, these are things that you got to make sure are done properly, because cosmetic stuff, while it's all great, it's only as good as what's behind it. Now, I work in Winnipeg, so our winters here are pretty intense. And when folks are buying homes between November and April, no one really wants to look at the outside of the house. It's very cold, there's a lot of snow, and if you're in a similar place, then you might be running into the same problem, but you gotta make sure you look at the outside of the house. It's your first line of defense against the elements. When that torrential downpour comes down, you wanna know, is the outside of the house ready to withstand that? Especially if you live in a climate that has, rapidly changing elements like we do here in Manitoba. In the wintertime, it's very, very, very cold. We have a lot of snow, and in the summertime, it's very, very, very hot and it's very dry, and we can have a ton of rain at times. So having the ability to take a look at the outside of the house and really understanding if it's in good shape is absolutely crucial. Definitely worth keeping a pair of boots in the car so that you can put them on and walk through that snow. What does the siding look like? Do the windows look really nice and sealed? Is the roof, has it been done recently? Any areas that look like they might be potential problems for leaks? You gotta look at this stuff. It's not just the pretty things that you wanna keep an eye out for. The other thing is to know what you need before you go into the showing. So before you even go to the house, right, it's always a good idea, take measurements of your furniture. Know how big the rooms need to be to fit all of your stuff, because you're going into these showings that sometimes they have no furniture in them, sometimes they have staging furniture into them. So they'll always look good when you're there, but only you know how big your furniture is. So I definitely recommend take measurements of any furniture that you're going to be bringing to the new house, right? You should have a list of this stuff written down. Okay, primary bedroom needs to be at least 15 feet by 15 feet big. My son's room needs to be at least 10 feet by 12 feet. Whatever those numbers are, make sure you know them ahead of time so that you can verify that while you're there, that the rooms are actually gonna fit the furniture. And not just furniture, you should know how long your vehicle is. How long is your car? How tall is it? When you look at the garage, is it actually going to fit into the garage? I've heard stories where people have bought houses, they go to park their vehicle only to find out, oh my truck is too tall. They never thought about the height of the door versus how high their vehicle is. You only need to make these measurements once, keep them in your vehicle. That way when you go to showings, you can take a look at the garage and go, okay, the door is at least 8 feet tall, the garage is at least 15 feet deep, my truck's gonna fit. These are all things that you can do moving forward. When you write your offer, you're gonna have pure confidence knowing that if your offer is accepted, you're buying a house that's gonna work for you and your family.